Evening and welcome to New Forest Morphs. Tonight we're going to be following up on part 2 of our Calico video that we put out this afternoon. I hope everyone's enjoyed that who's had a chance to have a look at it. Mads and I did that together and we quite enjoyed doing that one. And I hope you can see the beautiful genes that we've got. So what I thought we'd do now is I've just got us onto the computer screen now, and I just wanted to cover a couple of projects, and had a question from one of my favorites, another one of my favorite subscribers. I'm getting quite a few favorites here, but Chris B, quite new to the hobby, is thinking about actually investing, and I think he's got a certain amount of money he wants to spend. He's asked me in one of his questions if we could do a little bit of an explanation as how to go about sourcing the right genes, what that would cost, and how that would generate income going forward. So what I've done, being a chartered accountant, I've spent a little bit of time doing a couple of spreadsheets, which I'm going to refer to and show you what I've done. But first, I'm going to refer you to this particular calculator, genetic calculator. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with one of the projects which I mentioned in the film, which was the Firebee project, as you can see there. So to achieve a Firebee, you need a Pastel Calico, as you can see up there at the top. So this will be the parents, and I would recommend having a male Pastel Calico, and if you've got a female spider, to go for a female spider rather than having a male spider, because we do know that there are one or two issues that can arise with spiders. You've got to be very careful buying into the spider gene because they are prone to head wobble. So I've always thought the best approach would be to go for a spider female, so that you can plug in a male to her and only use her when you feel the conditions are right and everything's fine. If you went for a male spider, you could end up using him on quite a few other girls, and that could perpetuate a spider issue into the rest of your collection. So it's always a good policy to, if you're going to go for the spider, I'd always recommend going for this either the female. If you can source a very reliable spider that has very little head wobble, then obviously a male spider will be fine. But just from a precautionary measure, I'd recommend going for a female spider. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for a Pastel Calico. We're going to put the male to a female spider, and here you can see the outcomes. And assuming that we have 8 eggs on the clutch, there's a 1/8 chance of hitting a Firebee. Now, a Firebee is a Calico Pastel spider, and we'll show you what one of those looks like in a second. And then we've also got 1/8 chance of hitting a pastel spider, which is known as a bumblebee. And then you could also hit a calico spider, which is known as a collider. So you're getting all the technical names here. You could also hit a 1/8 chance of hitting a calico pastel, which is known as a bubblegum. And then you could have a straightforward spider, straightforward pastel, straightforward calico, and a normal. So the big question is, what would it cost us to get into this project? So if I move to my spreadsheet now and we look at the Firebee project, what I've done here is I've got the Pastel Calico male. It's about £200 sterling, 250 euros, $250 if you want to convert it to the other currencies. The spider female would come in, you can pick them up for close to £100, $150, depending on the quality. But I reckon you could get into the project for somewhere close to 300 sterling, 350 to 400 euros. So let's assume we're working in UK pounds. Let's also assume that our clutch size is 8 eggs, because that makes my maths a little bit easier. We've got a 1/8 chance. That means that of the 8 eggs, we'll get one of each of these. So what I've done is I've gone on to the Morph Market, and I've extracted the prices of what you would get if you were to sell your offspring as hatchlings. And you can see that the top snakes here are the Firebee, £300. The bumblebee will be worth about £200. The collider, £300. The bubblegum, £200. The spider, £100. Pastel, £100. Calico, say £100. The normal, about £50. So that gives us a total cost, or at least total revenue stream, of about £1,350 if we were to sell all of our offspring. Obviously, we may want to keep some back as holdbacks, so depending on where you want to go. So the initial outlay would be somewhere close to £300. The revenue stream would be £13.50, and that would obviously take 2 or 3 years to get there. A lot of time, effort, energy, obviously overheads to consider. But let's assume that we've got £1,000 or just over £1,050 worth of profit before overheads and your time. That's a 300% return on your investment. Actually, it's slightly more than 300, so it's getting close to nearly 350 to 400% return on your investment. So about 350, which is not bad for an opening project. But that gives you just a feel and flavour as to, how you can budget, what to spend, what you think the revenue stream will be, what your anticipated income stream will be off that, so that you can then have a look at how the numbers stack up, particularly if you've got a new hobbyist coming in that wants to finance the growth of the project from some of the offspring. So that allows you to hold back half of that and still break even. It won't be too expensive to keep 2 snakes. I think you're probably looking at overheads of about £1 a week for each of your adults for the food. So let's assume it takes 2 to 3 years to get going. Let's say 3 years. It's going to be about 50, let's say £1 a week for 3 years is £150 each for food. That's £300 food. Then your cost of your light, heat, cleaning materials, and obviously buying the rubs in the first place. Of course, once you've got your first project under your belt, the cost of the outlay won't be repeated. It's just the cost of the food. So that gives you an idea of what can be achieved on a very straightforward Calico project. Right, let's have a look and see. If we go back to the Morph Market and see whether we can actually have a look and see what a Calico looks like. Now, if you click on the blue Calico morph name, which I'm going to do now, it should take us to some examples of a Calico. Well, there's a banana Calico. So the moment you put banana, it rockets up to $750. So one extra gene can take a £300 animal to $750 US. Let's see if there's any straightforward Calibes that we can find here. A Firebee Calico. No, that's a super spinner Calico. There's a Calico there. Now look, that's been sold, and that was $200 US for that. So that's what a Calico looks like. Let's go and have a look at it. Pastel Calico Spider, and that's on the market for about $200 US. So let's go back to my spreadsheet to make sure I'm putting in the right money. I've said £300, so I might have been over generous there. But even if it was 200, I think you'd still be able to make a profit on that. So let's just go back to our outcomes. Let's see what a bumblebee looks like. So you can click on the bumblebee, see what price we get with the bumblebee, and see if there's any out there. So let's see if we can find a bumblebee. So a bumblebee is a pastel spider, and you'll notice that they've got a killer bee there. That's not what we're looking for. There we go. Pastel spider is $200, and that's het for clown. See if there's one without the het. Get an idea of what it's worth. A bumblebee fire orange dream looks beautiful. That's $300. So that's got the extra fire and orange dream in there. Now I think that's a good return. Very nice, and look how beautiful that snake is. So I'd be tempted to buy that. To be honest with you, I think that's a good price. So if you can get $300 US for a fire orange dream pastel spider, I think that's excellent value there. Let's just go back, see what else we've got. Yeah, so you're looking at anything between $200 and $300 for one of those. Okay, now what did I estimate on my spreadsheet? I put £200, so I'm not far out. Now let's have a look at the Collider, which is the Calico with the spider. Let's see what we can find on Morph Market to support that price. So we click on here, Collider, and let's see if we can find a Collider here. So we're looking for a Collider. There's one. So let's click on it and have a look at it. And as we go up, we can see the price on that one. So with that, you've got a price of $300 US. So you can see how the prices do vary, and that's an example of what a collider looks like. So you can see here, you've got the white underbelly of the spider combining with the calico to lift that even higher, and it could go higher than that, but that's probably a low white version. If you had a high white version, I think you'd probably pay a little bit more for a better quality calico in there. So let's just go back now, have a look and see if we can identify any other traits. So we know what a spider looks like: pastel, calico, and normals. So that's project number 1 I was going to show you. Let's move on to project number 2, which the second project I was looking at was doing a straightforward Calico Clown to see what you'd need here. Now I've put a Calico 100% het clown to a pastel clown. Now if we look at the possible outcomes, 8 possible offspring, let's say 8 eggs again, and there's a 1 in 8 chance of hitting all of these. So the top prize is the Calico Pastel Clown, which will be called a bubblegum clown. If we click on that, let's have a look at it and see what it looks like. There we go, there's a Calico Pastel Clown, Bumblebee Clown, and you can see what it looks like. So you can see the calico having an impact on the clown. And let's have a look at the price on this. So you're looking at $2,000 US for that as a possible outcome. So you can see that you're dealing with a much higher price as you move into the clown genetics by adding that clown gene to the pastel calico. Let's go back and see on my spreadsheet what I thought we'd get for that. If we click on there and we move to the Calico project, now I've put down £1,200 sterling for a bubblegum clown, which might be realistic in the UK here. In the US they're selling them for up to $2,000 US, but let's be prudent and say £1,200 could be achieved in the UK for the top prize, having the 4 traits in there, which obviously is the bubblegum clown. Now, if we had a bubblegum which was 100% het for clown, that would drop down to £300. A pastel clown you can pick up for $350. A calico clown, I've seen that they're going for as close to £1,000. And if we go back onto Morph Market just to check that, let's go back on to the Calico Clown, which is here. So you can click on any of these and look at prices, but let's just go on there and see what they go for and what they look like. So I like the look of, there we go. There's a Calico Clown right there, and look, they want $2,000 US for that, which I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they look beautiful. You can see how the calico is impacting on the clown. Very, very nice. And it's a lovely looking snake. But yeah, you're looking at €2,000 for that one. Let's go back. Again, on my spreadsheet, I would have prudently estimated a lot less than that. So I've only put 1,000 in there, whereas in the US they're going for $2,000 US. So these numbers are quite prudent. A pastel 100% het clown is probably worth about $150. A calico 100% het clown, I'm saying about $250. Straightforward clown, depending on whether it's male or female. If it's female, you could pay £400 for it in the UK. If it's a male, you're looking at £200 or £300. And then you've got your 100% het clown, which I've said 100. So let's, for argument's sake, say that totals up £3,500 in on that outcome. Cost you 600. The return is 500%, which is 5 times the value of the 600, close to £3,000. So I think that gives you a good, healthy profit on a investment of £600. So, Chris, I hope that's helped with your idea of how to use Morph Market and Spreadsheets to be able to work out your projects, and hopefully anyone else out there that might want to get into this or maybe adapt how they go about selecting their projects can use a similar method. Now what I've done here is I've copied and pasted. So from here, just to show you what I've done, is you can highlight all this so you don't repeat the data right across like that. Right click, copy, and then you go to your spreadsheet, and if I create a new spreadsheet, I'll show you what I've done. Click it on there, right click and paste, so all the hard work's done for you. Now, obviously, you've got to play around with the size of your fonts, because obviously you'd have to present it in a way, but you get the data there. So it gives you the core data. You've got to adapt that from dates to fractions, because it's reading the 1/8 as the 1st of August. So you'd highlight that, and then you'd go up to your customize here, and you'd just go fraction, which is down here, and then you just go 1/8, and that will give you a 1/8 chance, or you can rely on your percentages. So I copy that and paste that all the way down, and then the work's done for you. For some reason it's got small here, so I make that brighter. I go down there and I would increase the size of the font to 10. I'd make it black. Now you can read what you're doing. And there you have your format. It took me 2 seconds to do that. And instead of repeating everything and doing a lot of work, obviously you can make these wider. And then you can put your prices in and your project, and you can do your totals. So if you're familiar with spreadsheets, it's a great way of actually doing a very quick way of your projects, and you can build up your projects, and maybe on another video I'll show you how to feed all these projects into a annual cash flow, total profit and loss. So depending on how much you want to outlay, we can then take all these numbers and do a year-end summary to give you an idea of your total revenue, total costs, and give you an idea of the profit that could be achieved, or the income stream to allow you to reinvest and then take the projects onto the next level. So there's a very quick, simple way of showing you what I do to cut corners to get my spreadsheets up. I actually use the software to help me. If anyone's got any questions on that, please feel free to drop some comments in the box. But hopefully that just shows you how I go about doing things here. Now, what I have also done, just for the benefit of people coming in for the first time who may not have seen how Calico basically how it has an impact on other genes. So I've actually picked up a few of my favorite Calico combos, which I'm now going to share with you very quickly in the interest of time. So here we have a very interesting one here. It's called the Dark Viking Collider with yellow belly. This one is actually 3,500 euros, and it's quite a new gene. This Dark Viking is a very new gene just coming up in the market. He's saying he's making it available. We will finally start to release the Dark Viking project. So if you want to get into something very unique, you pay top dollar to get in, but you're going to produce something which no one else has, and it will allow you to go into new areas. Personally, I don't really like the look of that. Even though it's a nice gene, it doesn't invite me in, if I'm honest. But I just thought I'd show you that you can pick up new genes in the projects, and obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I just think it looks a little bit unclean for me, but I'll just show you some other nice genes here. Now this one, we've got the Desert Ghost and the Calico working together. That's 2,750 euros, but you've got Orange Dream and Pastel and Calico and Desert Ghost all rolled into one there. And here we have one of my favorites, which is the Leopard Calico Pastel Clown. So I think it's pretty. And again, you're looking at 1,300 euros. Here we have the Calico Trick Yellow Belly, 100% het for Clown. That's coming at 1,100. So Trick is a nice gene to get in. And you can see how the Calico is impacting on this animal. You've got those whites coming in, and that's a nice contrast with the deep blacks at the back end. Let's go forward and see what else we've got here. Now, I like the look of this one. This is a Super Stripe Orange Dream Calico, and you can see the Super Stripe in there, and you can see the impact of the Calico impacting on this as well, which is, as you look at the alien heads and the whites coming up. So again, that one was from Italy, 750 euros. This one is the Mahogany Coral Glow Pastel, and they're using the Noah line of Calico. I prefer the Flora and Fauna line, which is called the FF line. But pretty animal when you put banana and Calico together with Mahogany. So banana and Coral Glow are very similar. So they're basically, in my opinion, the same gene, but two different lines. But I like the look of that. I like the way the white and the banana, and you can see the Calico in there. Very, very pretty indeed. Let's move on up. I like the look of this one, and I think this particular European breeder, I think, produces quality, and I like this. Now I've got Bamboo, I've got Enchi. Firefly is your fire pastel calicos. I think that's a gorgeous looking animal, and I love the way that the calico impacts. You can see how the Bamboo, which has a lot of white underneath the Bamboo, combines with the white in the calico to give you a really high white, beautiful looking animal. So what price is this coming in at? Just under €1,000, €900 if you're interested in getting into that project. I like the look of that. I look at that and think, yeah, I wouldn't mind producing that. Let's move on and see what else we've got here. We've got the Pastel Mojave Calico Bananas. We've got the Calico Enchi Pastel Spider Het Clown. So this is where you got your spider and the calico. Look how high that white is. And in my film earlier on part 1, I was explaining that when you combine spider and calico together, you see you get a very, very extreme high white. I mean, it almost goes right up to the dorsal. And the spider has this lovely spider pattern coming through. I think that's a gorgeous looking snake. So that's something I might want to shoot for. Price on that one's $8.95. Here we have the Bamboo Calico. So again, Bamboo has quite a lot of white in it anyway, but when you combine it with the calico, my goodness me, just look at that wavy calico, high white with the Bamboo. I think that's a lovely combination. I think I'd be very tempted. This one's got vanilla in as well and yellow belly, and you're looking at $6.50, pretty good price, and that's again from Italy. Lovely looking snake. Here we have the Bamboo Enchi Calico again. So you can see I'm just focusing on those two. And this one is the Super Pastel. So when you put Super Pastel, just look what it does to the Bamboo Calico. Crazy patterns. Okay, very pretty snake. And this one is the Calico Pastel Woma. So if you put Woma into the gene, now that reminds me a lot of Pringle, but the Woma's making the pattern even crazier. And look at the dark browns that the Woma brings in. Very, very nice. Now I think you've got to be a little bit careful with Woma. There are some potential genetic issues with the Woma gene that you need to be careful of. It can be combined very carefully. You need to be careful what you combine it with. But I think in this particular case, the Calico Pastel Woma will be fine. You wouldn't want to put Woma into Spider because that could accentuate the wobble. But I think in this particular case, you've got a pretty safe combination. And I think that looks very pretty. And look at the price, €300 for that. Very tempting indeed. Moving on up. This is just a straightforward calico, and this is the Nerd line, and that's coming at €250. And that is a female ready to go, 1,600 grams. She's probably just come out of the breeding season. She'll probably need 6 months to rebuild, get her up and strong, I'm guessing. But if you're going to buy a female, obviously you've got to be very careful. Make sure that you're not buying a snake that's carrying any problems, because they can be offloaded, and some breeders, unfortunately, if they have an adult problem, they can sometimes sell them on without dealing with the issues. So be very careful on adults. I do prefer hatchlings, but I have bought some adults, and 95% of the time they've been fine. But there's always that 5% you've got to be careful if you're going to go for the adult market. Be very careful. Best to go and see the snake in person and inspect it really carefully, make sure it's in good condition, so that you can bring her in and you can start your breeding straight away instead of actually waiting 3 years. So there's the advantage there. And that one's coming in at $250. So you can get straight into the project for an adult female at $250, which, providing she's in good health, could be very tempting. Let's have a look and see. Now this one is the Banana Killer Bee Calico. I like the look of this one. I think banana and calico work really well together. And as you remember, I said I've got my Super Pastel Banana Orange Dream Apollo, who we're going to put to the calico. We have put to the calico, and she's already hooked up 2 or 3 times with them, and we're hoping to be able to produce something. One of the offspring will look something similar to this, because there is Super Pastel in there as well. So Banana Killer Bee Calico is Super Pastel Spider, which you can see there, Super Pastel Spider, and that's coming in at $345. Crystal Palace Reptiles, based in London. We've had snakes from him. Very reliable, very good breeder. I can recommend him. And there's another version from the same breeder there, Mahogany Coral Glow he's calling it, but obviously it's another line of Banana Pastel Flame. And again, I think it's a very pretty snake. Just love the way that combines nicely. And that's coming in at $695, that one. So more expensive. This one is a straightforward Calico Pastel. Just going to show you how Pastel and Calico work together. You can see how it brightens everything up. Seem to get rid of some of the white as well, but it might be that the person selling the snake's got a low white Calico genes that he's using. But it's nonetheless a very pretty snake. I do like the look of that. And that's coming in at €180. This one I like the look of because you've got the lesser and Calico working together, and as you can see the lesser has a fade which combines with the Calico, and I think that looks really nice in the banana lesser Calico, and that's coming in at $280. So there's some reasonably priced snakes out there. You haven't got to break the bank completely to get into these projects. Over here we've got just a straightforward Calico Fire. See what that looks like. It brightens everything up, as you can see, and that's coming in at $175. Here we have what they call the Kingpin Calico Ghost. So the Kingpin is a lesser pinstripe. So you add Calico into that. I think that's beautiful. Pinstripe is a very strong dominant gene, but look what the Calico and lesser is doing to it. It's actually breaking up the pin. And the wavy patterns and all this lovely white up lesser is having an impact here. The lesser plus the Calico. I think that's a very nice combination, and that's coming at €200. Here we have the Pastel Calico Het Desert Ghost, and again another pretty snake, €350 for that one. This is a adult female that's over 2,000 grams, born in 2016. It's a Super Pastel Spider Calico, known as the Killer Bee Calico. And as you can see, they do fade a little bit with age, but I do like the mixture in there. Look at the whites and the browns. And providing she hasn't got a wobble, might be worth looking at, she could be straight into a breeding program. And I think that's £375 for a big girl with all those genes. It's quite reasonable. Here we have a very pretty looking Calico Butter, which butters another line of lesser. And you can see how gorgeous that looks. I love the way that interacts with the Calico. So the lesser will always have white pattern coming up and fading. That combines beautifully with the Calico. That's a nice clean looking snake. That's coming in at a price of only €151. That's a very tempting snake to look at. Mind you, it's coming all the way over from Europe. So Croatia, that's the Croatian flag. So you'll be all over from Croatia. You'll have to allow at least €100 to ship over to yourself, so you're looking at $250. So you have to bear that in mind when you're buying. Plus, obviously, it's very cold at the moment. You wouldn't want to be shipping in these cold conditions, so I would advise doing that in the spring if you're going to do it. Here we have the Pastel Fire Spider Calico, and again, this is a very pretty looking snake. $395 is the price. Beautiful. This one is the Butter Super Pastel Enchi Calico, coming in at $300. There's another Bamboo Calico, slightly different version. I like the look of that. It's beautiful. And this is the Hidden Gene Woma. Now what you've got is HGW stands for Hidden Gene Woma, Pastel Possible Calico, 100% Clown. And the guy wants $800. Now we're moving into the American market. But I thought that was just an unusual Calico. And that's what the Hidden Gene Warmer gives you, an incredibly crazy pattern on there. And he thinks that's a possible Calico. So it's so crazy, it's difficult to know whether it's Calico or not. The thing I think that gives it away a little bit is the white and the yellows here. And this, it could well be, Calico could be in there. So you might be taking a risk there on this one. The guy wants €800 for that. Let's keep going. Orange Dream Calico Yellow Belly. You can see the impact of the Orange Dream. Brings in the oranges and emphasises the oranges in the Calico, but a nice looking snake. That one's coming in at €700. Orange Dream Super Huffman Calico F1. So I like that snake. I think that would be a project I wouldn't mind producing because I just love the Super Huffman. Now this is coming in at $1,450 US, but I really think it blends very, very well with the Calico. I just love the black contrasting with the calico. Beautiful animal. And if you got that into clown, that could be really interesting. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Let's see what else we've got here. So that's a straightforward Mojave Pastel Calico Ghost. So I thought that was pretty. Moving on with the Mojave and the Calico working together. I think they do combine nicely. This is the Orange Dream Calico Yellow Belly Possible Blade. Lovely contrast with the yellows and blacks. That's coming in at $550. Now this one looks pretty. It's an Orange Dream Pastel Calico Spider with a possible yellow belly. And we're looking at $650. A lovely looking snake. Again, the spider works well with the calico. Beautiful snake. This is called the Firebee Calico, het for clown. So a Firebee is a fire pastel spider, and that's mixed in with a calico. And I'll just show you, I think that looks pretty. Very, very nice. And that's coming at $450. Straightforward lesser calico. Again, I do like the look at lesser and calico do work well together. And that's coming in at $300. Not bad at all. That one's the Banana Pastel Calico. As I say, banana and calico work so well together. Beautiful animal. This one is, let's see what albino, how does albino and calico work together? Well, you can see that the albino pattern has been changed by the calico and by the spider. Pretty animal. And you're looking at $600 for that. This is a pastel leopard calico. So I love the leopard and how the calico and leopard work together. Let's look how crazy that pattern is. And the blacks contrasting it beautifully. So leopard into calico. And look at the tail. Beautiful. That's a lovely looking animal. Price on that one is $300 US. Very tempting. This again I like the look of. This is a pastel leopard Mojave Enchi calico yellow belly or asphalt. And I think that's a very, very pretty snake. I love what the calico's doing here to the leopard and the leopard doing to the calico. Got a nice little bright stripe running through the back there. Beautiful contrast. That's coming in at $1,500 US. This one is just a straightforward Calico Clown. And I think that looks pretty. $500 US for that one. You can see again, look at the calico impacting on the clown. Lovely combination. This one is a Super Orange Dream Banana Calico Specter. And I've never seen a banana so bright. Look at the way the calico patterns are impacting on the banana. Amazing. Just look at it's glowing. Look at the Orange Dream impacting on here as well. It's a Super Orange Dream, so you're getting a double dose of intense Orange Dream hitting this banana. Beautiful snake. I think that would look even nicer in person if you could go and hold that. That's $3,500 US, and they're based in Minnesota, which is Cush Constrictors. Really nice snake that. This one is a Calibee that we spoke about earlier in one of our projects. A nicer Calibee in my book, and it's coming in at a price of $350 US. So the Calibee is the Pastel Calico Spider. A very beautiful snake. I love the spider web, and I love the calico impacting with it. It's just beautiful. And here we have an Acid Pastel Calico Spot Nose, het for hyper. And I think again, crazy patterns. You can still see the calico and how that impacts. That's $3,500 US for that. So you've got the 100% het ghost in there, of course. That's going to add value to the animal. Having a recessive, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 codominant genes going in there, and Calico's dominant. So 3 codominants with 1 dominant and 1 recessive. That could be crazy moving into clown as well. Now I like the look of this one. This is a banana calico, so it's just showing 2 possible outcomes for you. So banana mixed with calico. Beautiful, beautiful animal. That one's coming in at $350 US. This one's a Calico Spot Nose Orange Dream Spider. And I love the way the Orange Dream and the spider are working well together. And the Calico. Beautiful animal. And for that one it's $6.95 US dollars. This one I like the look of Spider Calico Asphalt. And what I like about this, it's got a very Christmassy feel to it. But look at the speckling on that. And look at the lovely dorsal colours and combinations. Really like that. And this is from Mutation Creation, one of Billy's. He's looking for $2,500 US dollars on that one. That's a lovely animal. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's very Christmassy to me. I hope you're enjoying that one. This one is, we spoke about mixing the VPI Xanthic into Calico, and this one's got Spot Nose thrown in for good measure. I think this has been done really well, because the danger of bringing in Calico with Xanthic is you can wipe out a lot of the Xanthic pattern if you go too high white on the white blushing. But I think the person here has got a lovely mix and blend of Calico going into Xanthic. I think that's really pretty. Looking at €2,500, and that's Adam Chelsea Reptiles based in Florida. And it looks as though it's on hold. That means someone's picked that up. And let's move on. We're nearly at the end now, so thank you so much for staying with us. I hope I'm not going on too long for you guys, but I'm going to be wrapping up very shortly. So here we have the Black Pastel Mahogany Mojave Probable Calico. Now this one's got Probable Calico. Again, you're taking a risk on it, but looking at it, it's got the white coming up underneath. I love the way the black and the brown and yellows contrast, and look at the crazy pattern around there. So what price are we looking at? $500 US dollars on that. Beautiful looking snake. There's a theme here. I'm coming back to banana Enchi calicos. Isn't that just a beautiful snake? I wouldn't mind hitting one of those. What a gorge. Look what Calico does to the banana and the Enchi. To me, that's a very well balanced looking snake. And $500 US dollars for that. Very, very nice indeed. This one is unusual because we've got Black Pastel Orange Dream mixing with the Calico. And it's possible yellow belly. And I just love the look of it because you've got all the contrast is very dark. The Black Pastel produces a very black contrast with the Orange Dream coming in, which brightens up the Calico. I love the contrast on that one. That's one of my favorites. I wouldn't mind hitting or going for one of those. Price on that one is $700 US dollars. Chris Hernan Reptiles, and he's based in Michigan. Right, just a couple more to go, which is coming back to my project now. So what I've done here is we finished on the snakes, but I just wanted to show you one of my projects. So I've got a super pastel banana orange dream called Apollo. I'm going to put him to, I have been putting him to Pringle, our Calico F&F line. And I just wanted to show you how the outcomes are. So we're aiming for the bubblegum orange dream, which would be lovely. Let's have a look at it. That's a pretty looking snake. This one's got spider in it, so we'll just come back, see if we can find one without spider. Let's have a look at this one here. So that's a super orange dream pastel calico. So that one doesn't have the banana in, but it's got the super orange dream pastel. Let's see if we can find one that's got banana. Let's have a look. Doesn't seem to be anything there throwing out at me at the moment. So I'll just go back. There we go. And then, so these are the outcomes for us. So you can see there's 1 out of 8 chance. There's 8 possibilities that we could be hitting. And we've got a 1 in 8 chance of hitting the top 4 trait animal. And we've got a 1 in 8 chance of hitting the bubblegum orange dream. I'm looking forward to seeing the calico mixing in with the pastel, so we get a bubblegum, and we could also get a calico hitting the banana orange dream pastel, so that would be the top one to aim for there. But a nice variety in there. Now, the danger of having too many genetics mixing is what we call going down the rabbit hole. And I've shown you some basic combos. Now I'm going to show you the nightmare of overdoing your combinations and ending up with ridiculous numbers. Now, here we've got the Enchi Pastel Fire Calico, which is Peaches. And if I put her to my 5G Mel, which is the Hercules, he's an Enchi Leopard Pastel Lesser Clown. There are 288 possible offspring. And the first top snake, which is the Superfly Super Enchi Calico Leopard Lesser Clown, which will be a world's first, I think, because I don't think anyone's produced one yet, and that's what you've got. There's a 1 out of 512 chance of hitting that. So if we do hit that, I shall be letting everyone know about that one. But if we keep going down, just look at all the combinations. It goes on and 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 on. On. Still going, still going. Right down to a 1 out of 512 chance of hitting a 100% het clown is the worst case scenario. But what I'm trying to say here is that as much as we like to put in a lot of genes into our mixes, I think it's quite easy to overdo things, and you end up diluting so many odds and not really being sure of what you've actually got, being able to identify the genes. And one of our good subscribers, Angel, was saying to me just yesterday, he was saying to me that the danger of putting in too many genes too early is you haven't got a clue what's going on and you can get lost. So I just thought I'd demonstrate that point by finishing off with what could happen if I end up putting the wrong pairing together here. So we haven't really decided when Peaches is big enough who we're going to put her to, but I think I'm going to keep it simple and have a chat with Jared, discuss it with your partner if you've got a partner with you, obviously, before you go ahead. But just a little thing there to show you how dangerous it is to get too many genes into the mix. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for staying with me. And please do drop any questions or comments into the comments below. Have a lovely evening, and we shall catch you next time. It's goodbye from me. My name is Paul, and I'm from New Forest Morphs. Goodbye for now.